This is the Imperial Federation during World War I, and I'm going to try and form it while joining the Central Powers, because it wouldn't make any sense if I joined the Entente and I had to fight America. Welcome back to the Great War Redux. This time we are playing Britain. I'm going to put the king in charge, okay? The king is going to assert his royal prerogatives, and we're probably going to join the Central Powers, considering that the king is like cousins with the Kaiser. I mean, that doesn't justify it either. The Tsar of Russia is our cousin too. I mean, World War I is just one big family dispute, I guess. I mean, it's just, we'll see how this goes. We'll probably win, because that means we'll have control of the sea. The Central Powers will have dominance in the sea. And America doesn't join the war until, what, 1917? So there's a lot of time that France has to try and hold. Alright, king died. Death of Edward the 7th. Don't know why I was struggling there. Roman numerals are not difficult. Anyway, the king died, so that meant we had George V come into power. How big's our army? Our army is 131k. That's, you know, that's okay if it wasn't the majority of them being... the majority of my army being this. So you're telling me this is the British Colonial garrison, 2 infantry divisions and some support artillery. Who's building an empire with that division? That's outrageous. You know, I might build infrastructure in the Channel Islands just because I have a feeling I'm got a war with France and, you know, I need supply if I'm going to be there. Alright, before I do any of that, I want to continue the Pax Britannica. This will continue the policy of neutrality, including when World War I rolls around and we don't guarantee Belgium. However, this will create a neutrality crisis to which only the king can solve. Well, we cancelled the guarantee with Belgium, so sorry Belgium, we're not going to be coming to your age. Yes, Dominion investment. I started researching Marines, because if we're going to invade France, that's the first thing we need. Then I went and established South Africa, which is one of the newer additions to our vast empire, and will be a great addition to the Imperial Federation. 1910 general election. As expected, it was an easy liberal victory. I also hired an advisor that gave research speed. We're going to be a very technologically advanced Britain. The Parliament debates Irish Home Rule. Oh yeah, there's this big debate in Parliament right now about Ireland and whether they should be able to make their own decisions. The problem is, if they made their own decisions, they would probably leave the Union altogether. Anyway, intervene in the Chinese rebellion. That's going to happen sometime soon, so, you know, better ready than not ready. What? I have too many guns. Look at this. These are like the oldest guns. These are like Napoleon-era guns with swords. I mean, I don't know who would buy these. Maybe some African tribes? I don't know. Anyway, something very important happened. The Igdir crisis, which we are neutral in, but that's not the important thing. We have the option to research armored cars, and I would. And this decision would change the fate of not only this game, but the entire future of all of the future playthroughs of this mod that I have. This single Rolls Royce could be developed way earlier than tanks, but for some reason would be more effective than tanks in this game. Germany backs down from the Igdir crisis. You know, I was wondering whether that would have sparked a conflict, considering I remained neutral instead of supporting France, but no, they still back down. Nope, neutral. We don't get involved in these silly matters. Italy's invading Libya. We don't get involved in these silly matters. No, truly preposterous matters indeed, sire. We do not indulge ourselves. Okay, that British accent. And I want the armoured car. Alright, it's going to be good. It's going to go support, and we're going to get a little bit of armour. Denmark! They want to buy 900. Yeah, there we go. Denmark's actually buying our stuff. I don't know what Denmark needs the guns for. I don't remember them being involved. The first few years fly by in this mod, so it's already the end of 1911, and we're going on to 1912, where I would have an uprising in my West Indies. Alright, 1912 already, man. This mod just flies by until you get to the war. And then it stops flying by. Yo, we're getting like... Yeah, suddenly we're like adventure capitalist over here and everyone wants to buy our guns. I don't know. Belgium. There you go. We'll give you guns. Let's do this. It's a long way to Mukumbura. Other imperial administrations may demand autonomy. So this focus gives Rhodesia autonomy. However, now there's going to be other African colonies that demand a lot more. And that is about to become very evident. Not in Africa, but in the West Indies. Alright, so what did that do? Oh no, it just created its own thing. Rhodesian Nicerland. And because we did that, Kenya decided to rise up and we had to compromise and let them be a puppet. Natives and Indian settlers in Kenya. A white settler plot has come to fruition. We can reach a compromise. White Kenya becomes a dominion of the United Kingdom. You know, as far as the whole Imperial Federation idea is going, it's not. The idea is for them to have less autonomy in our country, not give them more. Australia. They want some artillery. There you go, man. Who needs civilian factories when you can just make a bunch of equipment and then sell it? Oh, oops. Yeah, because now white people are in charge of Kenya. That's a thing. Feminist hatchet attack. We got this very interesting event. A very angry feminist decided to throw a hatchet at the Prime Minister. And I had two options. It could either kill the Prime Minister or miss its target. What do I do? Do I want the guy to die here? Does it matter? I'm just going to say missed its target. It was a woman throwing it. Jesus Christ. Okay, that was a bit bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're just going to say the hatchet missed its target. I don't know, because that's probably like going socialist and stuff, and I don't know if we're doing that. Suddenly, we were at war with the West Indies. They kind of just called themselves Africa, and all of my states, even some in Africa, were starting to rise up. It's just a country called Africa that's taken over... What is that, Jamaica? Yep, Africa has taken Jamaica. I see. I'm guessing that this uprising was like had a random chance to appear in any colony, and this is probably the worst one because now I have to get my navy all the way over here and do so many separate naval invasions. Thank God I got Marines. Variety of other What the Sigma? I almost said it. That was really close. You know, I'm pretty impressed with myself. This proves that I actually think before I talk. Maybe I can train up my Marines. My Marines. They can get their first action. Here we go. This is like the Falklands. This is like when we're calling up the Marines, bro. Then, for some reason, the revolution decided to spread to the Bahamas, where I was launching the naval invasion from. However, fortunately, we could choose whether it was the north or south, so I prioritized the one we were launching the invasion from. The United States sends a note of protest. What are they protesting? Recent intolerable acts. Dude, they're literally rebelling against us. We're just putting down a rebellion. I think we should censor the press about these uprisings. Yes, and to distract them, I will hire a popular figurehead. Anyway, I launched my invasion into Kingston, and of course, it was not enough. So then I had to launch another invasion into this area. I don't know what these islands are called. And so I would have to deal with the rest of this uprising in 1913. Alright, get your organization up, and we're going. Fortunately, this second invasion was enough to capitulate Africa, and I decided that annexing them wasn't worth it, and they had made their point, so I just puppeted them. No, they got no resources. They got nothing. You've been puppeted. Alright, New Zealand... the last major dominion to get investment. So I'm going to change these to armored car when I can start producing them. I can. I finally could design my armored car. I had enough army experience by now that I could put what I wanted on it, and this is the design that I came up with. 5.3 is fine. Now I know what I'm getting all of these factories for. As expected, the reliability wasn't too great, so I had to go put maintenance divisions on those templates. Anyone want some artillery? Too much of this stuff. I made my way down far enough that I could do the Imperial Federation focus in like one focus. However, I decided that I wanted to do it after the war, but I didn't see that you needed to be democratic to do it, which causes a small problem later on, considering we're going to be authoritarian. And I didn't realize this at the time, but you know what? We crossed that bridge when we got to it. 1,500... That's just not what that says. That's just 150,000 Orangemen mobilized in Ulster. Oh yeah, of course, because Northern Ireland is like pro-Britain. That's where all the industry is. Anyway, I finished my armored car division. This is what it looks like. It's nothing special, but apparently it would be. This is the research slot, but I can't do this until we have war support, and just don't have that. A maintenance company. That is going to go straight on my armored car divisions. And planes. Here we go. I was almost ready. I just started researching planes, so I got to get those out. And my armored car divisions are just beginning training. So hopefully by the outbreak of war, I would be ready. I most likely won't be intervening in the war this year. But it is going to start, and then I will join the Central Powers. I don't want to... I guess I train more of these. Yeah, just train 20. Why not double what we just trained? World War I is about to break out. There it is. It's out. Okay. Now, when Germany invaded Belgium, we did not come to their aid. Instead, we remained neutral. But this would present a crisis in our government. Everyone just walked out until there was no more people left to govern. In the meantime, Germany was making mad progress into France, already breaking through their line. Without British support, their line was a lot weaker and, I guess, struggling against the Germans. Nah, this is crazy. Germany pulling out historical play here. This is like 18 whatever all over again. What I was trying to think of was 1871, the Franco-Prussian War where Germany unified. In the meantime, I was waiting. I had to get below 50% democratic support before the king could assert his royal prerogative. And at this rate, it's going to take a while. I was beginning to worry that Germany would actually beat France before I could get involved. Defending the colonies is so overrated. Who wants to defend the colonies? Not me. That was just completely unrelated, but yeah. Okay, it's 1915. At this point, I am eager to get involved in this war. I'm ready. My naval invasion is ready into Brittany. There's nothing that can stop me. Except for one thing. The king taking his goddamn time. Why can't I go down? I have to wait till I have below 50% support. It's getting there. It's at 52 now. And this is a race against time, okay? Germany are not far from Paris. And if Paris falls, that's the end of the war. I gotta see the casualties they're about to take. Because they just got encircled. Okay, Germany have taken way more. At this point, I could still do the Imperial Federation focus, but I didn't want to do it until after the war. It just wouldn't make any sense. Alas, the wait was finally over, and George V asserted his royal prerogative. George V asserts his royal prerogative. Shocking news from Buckingham Palace today is... Hey, super event for it. Let's go. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more focuses before I can... Actually, no, 6. It's more like 8 more focuses until I can actually join the war. Now, at this point, it's kind of ridiculous. We just had a whole neutrality crisis about not being involved, and now it's taking forever to get involved. We have to go down so many focuses to ally with Germany, but... I mean, hopefully the war won't be over until... They're outside Paris, man. Treaty of London. Okay, Italy might actually end up saving France here a bit. Chances are that's not happening. Paris is going to fall unless France put up some mighty resistance. But I mean, it is the capital. They may actually. Yeah, we can get... this guy gives reconnaissance? That's new. So I'm not going to lie. It's interesting. And we get manpower from it, which we kind of do need. Oh! France has gone authoritarian. Pétain is in charge of the country. Yeah, there's just a big authoritarian orgy now. The only country that's still a democracy is Italy. Russia's going to go through their revolution, so they're losing no matter what. Next year, we're actually joining the war, okay, guys? I promise. I know we're like 12 minutes into this video and we haven't even joined the war yet. Just hear me out. This focus tree has denied me 2 years into entering the war, okay? Just please. Right, maybe this year we'll join the war, if we've actually got any land to do a naval invasion on. Alright, the Eternal Kingdom done. Resurrect an Angevin claim. It must not be forgotten that His Majesty is not only the King of Scotland and England and Ireland, but the Duke of Normandy. Finally, once we did our claims, we could start the focus to join the Central Powers, and then we could finally enter the war. Resurrect the Angevin claim and petition for German alliance. We are in the Central Powers. I immediately sent my navy to strike force, or naval invasion support, one of them, and then I sent the invasion off. They landed immediately, and this is where the armored car surprise came in. Well, you remember how I was rambling how good they were? Well, you're about to see. Oh, they're fast, man. They're actually faster than you expect. That's good, and I thought they were actually not going to be fast, but they are. I invented the Blitzkrieg right here with the armored cars. They're not tanks. The British invented the armored car Blitzkrieg. Look at this thing. Where should we even... We should try and encircle the army here, so... Actually, we'll go this way. Japan has accepted entry into the Central Powers. There it is. They're going to attack Russia. And not only were these armored car divisions quick, they were actually able to push back the infantry. They're actually insane. This is for the win. This is the strat in this mod. You just make these armored cars and you win. We're going to take Paris single-handedly. With these armored cars. Let's go. These guys are taking forever. Oh, we're going to take Orleans. Look at this. Armored cars in this mod seem to be the way to go. Right, so from now on, anytime I play this mod, I'm just going to make these. Because you can make them well before tanks, so you can get a lot more out. And they just work way more effectively, because the tanks are hell slow in this mod. And we're going to force attack it, because I'm that confident. I know I'm glazing these armored cars like crazy, but like, if you think about it, every other mod, they're the most useless thing you could make. And for some reason, here, they're the best. Oh, 99. We've taken Paris. Wait, is that it? That's it. We took Paris. That's the war. I wish it was, but no. That was France signing a separate peace deal to Russia and Italy. So I still got to fight those two. Oh, it's separate? No way they sign a separate peace deal. So naturally, I began to invade Italy from Malta. Oh, he's stuck in a naval battle. Alright, this guy must have to take the port then. It wasn't long before we secured Sicily and even crossed over into the Strait of Messina, I think it's called. Anyway, we launched another naval invasion from Palomero into Naples. I don't know if we're going to beat him. It's like 74. I expected... Okay, I should have expected it to be, you know, protected. Anyway, while this was going on, France went into a civil war. There goes my claims on Normandy, I guess. I'm not getting that. Which, I'm way ahead of my doctrine. I've researched trench warfare, right? Mate, I've had armoured cars blitzkrieging across France and across Italy right now, okay? I don't know what you're talking about. Talking about trench warfare. He's off. Blitzkrieg, go. Oh, okay, never mind. Fall of Venice. Oh, the Austrians. Okay, yeah, it's over. All that's left is Russia, and that'll just be wait. That's just going to be we have to wait. But then we had a country join who was a bit late to the party, like usual, but this time very late because all the enemies are pretty much over. The United States suddenly decided that they wanted to join the war. How have I only done 5%? I carried that war. Come on. However, we did get a peace deal, which is a bit odd. I kind of just took everything I wanted. Notice how none of my claims are included. I had player-led peace conferences off, so I just kind of took what I thought would be reasonable. That was most of Africa, the Crete Island, and Cyprus. I also liberated 2 Sicilies, because Kaiserreich. I thought America came in earlier than this, but no, apparently I went to war with Portugal before America invaded. I'm at war with Portugal because I demanded their colonies, but they said no, so now I have to invade their colonies and their mainland. What do they say? They're definitely going to say no. So yeah, I ended up just invading them, and yep. I puppeted their mainland and gave their colonies to my colonies, so because I have the better colony. Looking over at the French Civil War, it seems like the communists are going to win, because they have the North, and the other two are fighting each other. Anyway, I wanted to start forming the Imperial Federation. However, there was a problem. I could not do it because I wasn't democratic. However, there's this cool command where you can put into your console. Anyway, Imperial Federation, they should say yes. Oh, I can lower the autonomy of the Raj. And I suppose this was convenient because the United States declared war on Germany, the Central Powers, which I was in. There we go. We did it. Oh, we're just straight up called Imperial Federation. Here's to the Empire, though. There we go. This is cool and all, but what's the Imperial Federation without America? So I sent my almighty armored cars over to America. Alright, we're at war with America. We just have to call in Canada and... yeah. I immediately called in Canada and I put the majority of my army in the New England border and I kind of ignored the rest of Canada. It's pretty useless. No offense to anyone viewing this in the western regions of Canada, okay? I would also say the western parts of Australia are pretty useless. There's nothing there either. And by 1920, the war would really heat up. Let's go. Alright, encirclement, nice. Quebec was not happy with this and they decided to revolt, and this resulted in front lines that I could not really comprehend and were definitely not very good for me. Germany, can you please help me out, please? Japan is at war with America. Guys, this is literally 1941. I needed to deal with Quebec, so I went and dealt with them and they capitulated. However, I didn't have enough war score in the peace deal to do anything with their land. Hey, we got it. Just no one has enough points to do anything. This was really dumb. So I opened up the command console and annexed them diplomatically. Okay, it was like, come on. Oh yeah, Quebec is ours. Okay, this is not cheating. This is simply fixing the game that is already broken. Literally no different to like a plumber coming in and fixing the pipes under the sink. Okay, leave a comment saying that you are not cheating. That is a really good job at fixing this game. Anyway, I pulled off another encirclement in America and then I had another revolt. This one a lot closer to home. Ireland. Oh my god. I lost it. I was busy, okay? This is a fair trade. I lose Ireland and I get America. I think that's fine. Oh, conscription. Now. Yes, limited conscription. We just sunk so much of the American fleet. They can't be that strong. 200 and some divisions. That's actually quite a bit. The front in America was stalling, so I decided to do the age-old strategy of concentrating my armored cars. And of course, it worked like a charm, and I pulled off this encirclement. Armored cars are phenomenal. They're actually, like, I've never seen such an effective unit. There were so many encirclements that I might as well just turn the war into a montage. By now I started getting some close air support over America as well, and this is where things really went wrong for them. I'm just gonna press the button, see what happens. Yeah, we're winning everywhere. Let's go. Philadelphia's ours. Another massive encirclement. All right, everyone on the front. At this point, I was tired of doing encirclements. The casualties were like 4 million to 500,000 in my favor, obviously. So I just pressed the go button and zoomed out to look at it. They're actually close, despite, what is this, 92? This is 92% towards capitulation. This is really good. Thank God Brazil hasn't become a major. Is that it? It is. Yeah, we just got so many guns. All right. I'll take most of it. All right. Britain reclaims the colonies. There's a super event for this. The British have come. Imperial Federation. Right, now we just need to annex all of our dominions, and there we go. Though there was only one way to do this, through building in them and then using political power to slowly demote their autonomy. And I didn't feel like doing that. I actually like having fun in this game, thank you very much. Alright, there it is. The Imperial Federation. And, I mean, we could have annexed the Raj, but it does make more sense to have them as a colony still. And there we did it. We formed the Imperial Federation in the Great War. Well, after the Great War. It's not really a federation, but it is Imperial, so at least 50% of it is right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. As I'm talking now, I'm just going through the different ideologies and what the name of the country would be and the flag would change to. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.